So I literally watched XRP reach $3.18 yesterday, and I was watching all the market reactions and all the frenzy on social media about it. It was very exciting to see XRP Army and even non-XRP Army folks rejoice. But I also saw a lot of people saying, oh, this is the top, better sell and get out. And these people have no idea what they're talking about, right? And I think that a lot of people, even in recent times, have suddenly forgotten what we're dealing with here. We're talking about a crypto that is tantamount to a compressed spring, right? So we had the weight of the United States government and the SEC, etc., and more forces sitting on top of this massive spring. And as we remove the weights one by one, the spring is recoiling, and soon enough, we're going to take away the heaviest weight, and this thing is just going to spring out to its original size and then grow even further. What people don't realize is that this all-time high that we're chasing was from year 2018, 7 years ago, right? So we're now about 20% away from that all-time high. But people don't realize that that all-time high of $3.84 is comparable to Bitcoin's all-time high of around $20,000. So that's not comparable to Bitcoin's all-time high or current all-time high of over $100,000. That is comparable to Bitcoin's all-time high 2 cycles ago. So XRP still got to beat that all-time high and then head for what is comparable to Bitcoin's 69,000 all-time high in 2021, I believe, and beat that. And even that is not the current all-time high. And then make for this year's Bitcoin all-time high, which is over 100,000. So XRP still has a fair way to go. So this minus 20 from all-time highs, quote unquote, is talking about a very outdated all-time high. So $3.84 would be the very beginning of the pump. XRP has still got another God knows how much to do. And when it then beats that all-time high, it then enters what I call true price discovery, at which point it's going to spiral into places that people won't believe. Not financial advice, do your own research, but that's coming. Talking about weights being removed, we now have less than 5 days before a new administration in the United States. At that point, Gary Gensler would have also resigned. And of course, we're going to have a new quote unquote crypto friendly SEC chair. Now, if you remember, actually Gary Gensler, when he first came in, we all thought, oh, this guy, he's kind of a pro crypto guy. He used to teach crypto courses in college. So he wasn't an actual blockchain hater. It wasn't as if he didn't understand blockchain. He had a clear understanding of what he was doing. He was teaching this stuff. Gary Gensler probably knows more about blockchain and cryptocurrencies than 99.99% of people on social media talking about blockchain. This guy is savvy. His apparent hatred for XRP and Ripple and crypto, his disdain for cryptocurrencies is a political hate. It's not a technological hate. It's not something that he was doing because he didn't understand blockchain like some of the dinosaurs in the administration, but he understood blockchain. His hate and disdain for crypto and for crypto holders was a political thing, right? So it's important to understand that. So this new guy, again, is being touted to be a pro crypto guy. So we can only hope that he'll take the positive steps. And I suspect that if it doesn't take the positive steps that we require, or that Elon Musk or Brad Garlinghouse or any of those guys I think they can pick up the phone and call up the guy in the White House who will very happily, as he has demonstrated in his past administration, fire people whenever he wanted, right? So people would tread carefully to do sort of what he suggests or what they think he would like, right? And talking of which, right, Jeremy Hogan has shared with us his opinion about what next, because the SEC wasting taxpayers' money. I've decided to file this appeal anyway, right? I'm going to link this article in the description section if you want to go read it, but let's get the gist of it, right? The US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has recently submitted its opening brief in the appeal against Ripple. The brief was shared with the XRP community on X by James K. Phelan, a well-respected attorney in the crypto space, and it has garnered significant attention. Jeremy Hogan, another prominent attorney and XRP supporter, provided an insightful analysis of the filing. According to Hogan, the appeal focuses solely on the district court's decision that the XRP sale to retail investors did not constitute securities transactions. Hogan also stated that the SEC did not argue about harm to investors, noting that proving investors were harmed will be difficult now that XRP has surpassed $3. Absolutely right. So the SEC has gone ahead and taken out some of its original arguments, that investors were harmed. Oh, this is such a bad thing for XRP holders. See, they've lost so much money. When people are now 12x up, 10x up from the time, some people are nearly 20x up. And how are you going to argue that in court? That, these guys have made so much money and they're so harmed. Obviously, they're not stupid. They've taken that out. Now they're focusing on the actual decision that the sales aren't securities, right? Which already has legal clarity. We have a respected judge's opinion on that. And it's just frivolous at this point, right? According to Hogan, the SEC's primary argument is that it does not need to prove that XRP purchasers were aware of Ripple's statements about efforts to increase XRP's value. Instead, the SEC relies on precedent to argue that it is sufficient to show that the existence of such promotional statements. Oh man, they're just grasping at straws at this point. Hogan's criticized his approach, stating, "The problem that the SEC has is that from my reading of the first two cases, they say no such thing." He also noted that the distinguishing between the concept of reliance and knowledge is pivotal, with the trial court emphasizing the latter in its ruling. So, the SEC is playing kind of like, mental gymnastics at this point, basically. The SEC's reliance on prior cases, particularly Aquasonic, appears tenuous. Hogan observed that the SEC has to combine sentences from multiple sections of the Aquasonic decisions to construct its argument. Again, mental gymnastics. He also expects Ripple to counter this by highlighting key differences between both cases, such as the lack of evidence that XRP retail investors were aware of Ripple's promises. Another significant point of contention is the SEC's failure to challenge the substantial evidence submitted by attorney John Deaton on behalf of XRP holders. Deaton had gathered thousands of affidavits from XRP investors refuting claims of reliance on Ripple's statements. So basically, the SEC is like, XRP army, XRP investors, feel this way. This is how they feel. The XRP investors saying, well, no, this is not how we feel. And the SEC is like, no, this is how you feel. No, this is, oh man, this is going to be interesting. It's just such a massive waste of everybody's time at this point, right? Hogan expressed surprise that the SEC did not attempt to counter this evidence during the initial proceedings, noting that this oversight could prove detrimental to its appeal. Hogan highlighted the broader impact of the SEC appeal, noting that if the appellate court upholds the district court's decision, the SEC could face a new precedent requiring proof of investor awareness of promotional statements. So this court case could set a precedent that's detrimental to the SEC's cases moving forward, right? This could complicate enforcement, leading to longer, more expensive litigation. Ripple might also revive its argument that investment contracts require contractual obligations, further weakening the SEC's position. Hogan concluded by questioning the SEC's rationale for pursuing the appeal, highlighting the risks of adverse legal precedents. Ripple, meanwhile, could use the appeal to strengthen its position and challenge the SEC's approach. And then there's a little bit of disclaimer there. So basically, man, this case could end up backfiring really badly on the SEC, leading to precedent that would make future cases more difficult for the SEC to prosecute and, strengthen Ripple and by association other crypto companies, paving the way for, Cardano and Avalanche and all of that to gain legal clarity themselves, a precedent-setting decision for all of crypto. Man, or they could just throw this whole thing away and, get on with it. No financial advice, do your own research. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.